You put the right foot in, you put the left foot out, and then you shake. What do we do? Is the
Are
hokey
we
pokey?
live?
I think it says that we are live, Miss Trina.
Okay, well, it's not live
See?
on the notification, so we might have it again doing the same
No, it'll be
double.
it. No,
Hey guys, check new thumbnail.
uh, it's there. It's live. We are live.
Hi
So
everyone.
hello, everybody. How are you doing? We are not challenged on this, and I have figured it out, and we won't ever have a problem again, he
Oh,
says.
yeah.
Bosto, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. A second look. Thank you, moderators, all of you beautiful moderators, and my co host, Miss Trina Phoenix. How are you?
I'm great, Wayne. So good to be with you.
Well, I look forward to Tuesdays all week long, Trina,
I do
and it's always exciting to have you here
too.
because we seem to inevitably, always hit on nuggets that, well, it seems people really can relate to, and that's cool.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you just go with the flow and things kind of go where they land, the spirit starts to guide. And you do get those nuggets, those small nudges, little whispers.
I think,
Yeah.
um, I think we're in an avalanche.
I do too.
I think
I
there's
do.
times
My
where it
head
says,
feels like it's exploding. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And welcome everybody. Hey, Julianne Payne. Saw y'all on Saturday night. That was a very interesting show.
It was
Uh,
fun. It was so
Julianne is a master at word alchemy, no doubt about it.
oh,
Well, hello, Red Roof Ranch. How you doing?
hi
Everyone's
everyone.
saying, "Hey, Ken Cook, got your email." I think we're going to really get into about manufacturing and robotics. What's happening? Let's see. Tomorrow, I have Amber Dawn
Yay.
coming on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
She's such a beautiful soul.
She is,
Oh my
and
gosh. Yes.
so I'm
Mhm.
doing a lot of reading on empaths. It's real interesting, Trina. In this book I'm reading, Consciousness Beyond Life, and it's a great read.
Mhm.
We're going to refer to it in the next couple of weeks. Anyway, what they found about empaths. Hey, wise April Fool, how are you doing, dear? Susie Q, David Barry, 75. Hello. By the way, I want to send some healing out to Heidi, Martin and Heidi. She broke her hip. So we're just
Oh,
going to send you healing and peace, speaking to that body, just laying
yeah.
hands on you. There is no time and space in the spirit realm,
No,
and
there's
we're all
not.
spirits, you know.
Yes.
That's how we communicate.
Yes.
That's how it's done, folks. You can send her some of that energy that you were zapping your third eye with there, Trina.
Right. I was just thinking that I was like,
Yeah.
just seeing the bone go right back together. It's
Yeah, it's
like
like,
done.
yeah.
Yeah. And that
Uh,
can happen.
exactly. Hey, Robert V, how are you doing? Anomalous sapien.
Love it.
Now, long time. Well, welcome. I love the handle. That's cool. I like that. Hey, Sarah Horton. Hello. Eyes to see. Marie, good to see you.
Yes.
Robert V is in the house. How are you
Hi, Robert.
doing? No, he broke his hip. Oh, okay. It was Martin who broke his hip. All right. Well, that's okay, Heidi. We're just sending it through you. You just give him a big hug and the connection is made.
Absolutely.
I was doing some more of my experiments in the backyard, and Lynn comes out and, she says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, hello, Teresa. Good to see you, hon. Gaia, hello. Bernadette, good to see you. Loretta and Emperor Rex." And I said, "Well, you know, I said, I am as a novice walking in on the first day of calculus.
Yeah.
I understand
Yep.
the the formula for calculus, yeah, but I'm not a master at it yet."
Yeah.
So anyway, she and my neighbors are looking at. So I've got
Mhm.
this copper wire and I'm doing experiments in number one. I have my voltage meter and
Mhm.
I'm measuring milliamps
Mhm.
and, getting the what is in a neutral position for the copper basically only has like 4 ohms, if that even. And once you make a connection to the earth and you round out the circuit, I was hitting, 200 milliamps it's amazing how you see it spike up.
Yeah.
And our neighbor on the other side, so Lynn says, so what's the purpose here? I said, well, obviously Tesla figured this out. I said, it's obvious that there is a natural current that runs in the planet. And I said, we live on the planet.
Yeah.
So then that makes us each kind of like these walking
Antenna.
transcendents. Yeah.
Yeah.
We connect and we're not even aware of it.
We have no idea,
Yeah.
and it's what creates our body.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
when you
without
put
that connection, the body can't exist. Mhm.
rods in the middle of that,
Mhm.
that is it is really interesting to see because what I am doing, just to let everyone know, I'm doing thought experiments. If I can generate an electrical field naturally of the earth,
Mhm.
that means I should be able to step inside of that field, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're doing.
Mhm.
I am an electromagnetic generator.
Yeah.
We all do.
Mhm.
So my thought is this, not to where Tesla was looking to actually amplify and direct the natural energy. My thought is going into just that thought.
Mhm.
How could thought be amplified uh, in a electromagnetic field that the earth generates, that you generate in your own backyard by, in this case, using copper to make, and there goes the spirits. You sit
Mm.
literally and what I did the first time was just to begin to focus with the rods, and it was crazy. Wherever my thought was, it was going just that quick.
Yeah.
And that told me something. It said, oh, so here's what my mind thinks of Trina.
Mhm.
I'll let you be my I'm going to bounce this off. So my thought is this, is that if I can generate an electromagnetic field where thought is obviously amplified, how would that then amplify the intent and magnify the potential manifestation of the thought?
Um, the more you can feel it, the more stronger it becomes
Yeah.
because you're working with the electrical charge and then you're activating the magnetic force. So yeah, the more you feel it, the more powerful it becomes.
And I'll tell you what I'm also doing.
Mhm.
So reading this doctor's book, who's a cardiologist.
Mhm.
And it's always wonderful, Trina. I don't know, when you find out you do something intuitively and then you find out that there's science backing it up.
I love when that
Like,
happens.
like healing, then you do the work
Yeah,
with
it is
Mary.
like,
Yeah.
"Happy dance!" Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, I've
exactly.
done this for 15 years and I've never seen anybody ever say anything like this, and this is
Boom.
confirmation. Oh, yeah, that's a happy dance day for
That
me.
is a happy dance. And to know that speaking um, tomorrow, Thursday's experiment is that we're going to work with salt and how salt crystals can be altered by positive intent and negative intent.
Absolutely.
And as I see this, so we know there's a 500,000 cells each day that our body is shedding. That means there's a 500,000 new ones.
Mhm.
If I'm speaking to each cell and I'm speaking, you're healthy, you're bringing youth to my body, you're accomplishing great things, you work in unison with all the other cells, you're beautiful, and I just speak nothing missing, nothing broken to be in your life. I'm speaking life into my new cells.
Yes, you are. You're giving them a command.
Yes. Thoughts on that?
It's how programming works.
Yeah.
It's
And so
brilliant.
it would,
Yeah, you're changing your matter.
every day I lay hands on myself and that's what I speak. And I'm I'm sure, as people get older, I mean, folks, we all do.
Yeah.
It's the inevitability of life. If
Mhm.
you're going to experience life in this realm, you want to grow older. we want to retain our youth, but you know what? You don't need a lot of chemicals to retain your youth. Your body will naturally retain your youth, such as yourself. I mean, you know, a 30-year-old like yourself.
Oh, you're so sweet.
The check is in the
And
mail, right?
I do, you know, I really, it's so profound that we're really starting to understand that we speak our creation into
Yes.
existence. So what we say to our own bodies is one of the most important things. And most of us are always picking it apart, finding things wrong, you know, holding on to
Always.
trauma. We have all these emotions that are going on within the soul because the soul, you know, I've been thinking a lot about the soul and I think it's a recorder device. And I think that's why
Hmm.
all the souls are different because when you take on a soul, that's like a vehicle to go into different incarnations. And that's when the veil goes over the forgetfulness. So you can actually become a creator. So the soul is given as the recorder device. That's why they are all so beautifully unique. So,
Now,
yeah.
folks, we didn't talk before this. I typically will email Trina. She says, well, what's our topic? And we'll get
Mhm.
it. So
Yeah.
it shows you how you can become so in sync.
Mhm.
So I had this, and I think this is so interesting. I had pulled this up and I wasn't sure we'd ever talk about it, but we talking about the soul and what the message is today. What is the vision for tomorrow? What
Yeah.
is the message? Trina, you and I, particularly myself, I am the future that was spoken about in the late 60s and 70s. We were wanting to speak peace, but yet there was violence. And today, society is what we thought the past of what the future was going to be. I don't think any person alive 50 years ago would have looked at a society today that has no hope. There's no message of hope. There's no one speaking what the vision of the future is. There's nothing that's unifying us. Everything we see is dividing us.
Yes. It's
I
so
mean,
beautiful because when you see it on such a large aspect, I mean, this is the foundation of education. This is the foundation of religion. This is the foundation of politics. All of these things are brought forth to control what we think, what we feel, and what we believe. And all of these systems have been turned to such an inverted state to where they're all harmful. None of them are uplifting. None of them are filling you with hope. None of these things are creating what we wish to experience as humanity. So it's so funny as I see this new age of Aquarius, it's going into a totally new age. The moon's wobbling, everything's going crazy. We've got plagues and oh, it's so crazy. And it's because we're getting completely tested so we can invert the entire system. We've been taught that we need a savior. We've been taught that we need to be educated. We've been taught all these things because all of these things have been taught to us. So we would never know that we could do these things on our own. So we're starting to understand the power of what's inside of us now. And this is causing the inversion. So we are now becoming very powerful because we actually understand what we are. And we're not being guided to perform a script to run the programs that they've been giving us. We're blowing our programs away and reinstalling new ones that actually serve humanity and yourself because we're one.
so let's take this down to what I call the boots on the ground, because I've
Uh-huh.
had an interesting discussion. Um, because of certain things, I now am seeing um, people that are in 2021, 22. They're not hearing that message, Trina. And
Oh,
the fact of the matter is, the vast majority of people are not hearing that message.
mhm.
And we'll get back here to the soul because I want to really discuss this on a topic, because it's a conversation that we need to have as this tribe here. that edifies us because we understand that, we get that.
Mm.
I've talked to some 21-year-olds that have not a clue.
Yeah,
They
and
do not.
and I've talked to some 21-year-olds that are so advanced, it blows my mind.
Well, I'm
Um,
talking about the ones that are on the streets doing the rioting and the
oh, they
ones
are
who have.
so programmed. They're so
No, I
clueless.
get that. What I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is that that message is not their message, is the message that's going to literally 250 million Americans each day that are consuming the news in politics.
Yeah.
My wife and I recently saw two groups, one with Biden, one for Trump. And we ate, the Biden crew was very small, but simply asked the question, what's the future for America under Biden?
Hmm.
They didn't know. I said,
No,
so why are you supporting Biden? Because we hate Trump. So I said, your platform is a message of hate.
it's
Now,
hate.
that message is going out to 100, 200 million people each day. So we went across the street and asked the Trump folks, well, so what is the vision of the future for America under Trump? They didn't
Freedom,
know.
liberty.
Well, no, they didn't know. They really did
Right.
not know. Yeah.
They don't have a vision either.
Well,
Wow.
if you go on to either party, the Republican Party or the
Mm.
Democratic Party, you can't read their vision statement. It's there's no vision.
Wayne,
There's no hope.
and I know the only successful financial plan or creation begins with your mission statement.
Well, for the most, you would think, yes. I hope we all had when we came into this life. I don't know if we were that, but anyway. And so Lynn and I, we last night we went around the internet and we started putting in messages of hope. Who's got them?
Right.
There is no message of hope.
I know. It's like favor. Remember when I told you you brought favor in?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that was a massive wave into the matrix. It was huge because it was word. It was just powerful what I saw. And it like I said, it's because there's no message of hope. That's a message of hope. Favor.
Favor. Yeah. And
Yeah.
now we're trying to get, I am convinced more and more that being of service to others
Also,
is
yes.
I meditate on it all the time. It
This is
lowers.
literally how we will change everything. Wayne, it doesn't take that many of us. And that's the truth.
Did you
'Cause
hear the conversation I had with Jennifer Roberts
yes.
on the soulless ones?
Yes.
All you have to do is you don't even have to do very deep research, and there is a lot of research from an academic level all the way down to a philosophical level.
Yeah.
That yeah, yeah. And then yesterday, as I was bringing out as a precursor today, we seem to have been programmed, and the thought is that artificial intelligence robots are not new.
No,
They are in fact our creators.
that's what I'm thinking.
Now the question becomes, and I had the weirdest experience last night when in my dreams, I'm sitting outside the earth. I know I'm sitting outside the earth, and I'm seeing things coming in and out of the earth, and I'm asking myself, okay, so what's really going on here? What if we're all not the same? What if we're all not of the same spirit? What if we're all not of the same soul? What if we
See,
don't even have a soul?
well, see, that's I think that's an option because I think like I said, I've really been asking this question a lot lately, and what I'm seeing is the first is the spirit, and it's like invisible pleroma. It's a moving water consciousness intelligence before matter before form. So then the soul, I think, is the template that you take on through the waters of it goes into starting to get into the material realms. And then once you enter into that, it's like that cell of you, it records everything you experience. So we're going, so yeah, the soul, I think is, so I think there's one original spirit. It's formless. It has no form. So it's all the same. That's we are one thing. It has no form. It's everything. So the formless would be that we are all one thing, the spirit part. But the soul, that's what you take on to get the separation. And that's the recorder device that records all the information of creation through physical manifestation, even etherical energy, feel all this stuff can be recorded through the soul. So that's what I'm seeing. And we've never ever understood any of this. So this would mean that there could be spirits that took on bodies in God only knows where, but through the soul, they probably have the opportunity to incarnate God only knows where. So that would make perfect sense to me that there would be multiple species upon Earth.
Well, I mean, if you go
Multiple.
by the concept of reincarnation, right?
Yeah.
Ascension. Hey folks, the Cro-Magnas are walking around here. The Homo erectus is walking here.
Mhm.
Okay, so who are we really? Are we really sapiens? To me, this begins to get really interesting because
Right.
the reincarnation thing, I'm not buying it anymore, because if we only started out with one and now we got 7.5 billion, what the freak happened there? And
Right.
then it's
Mhm.
arrogant of humans, Homo sapiens, to say, well, only we reincarnate, only we ascend, when our ancestors, I mean, what if they were in fact chimpanzees, which the DNA says that all we are is a third cousin to the chimpanzee, the boboa specifically, I believe they're the subspecies.
Yeah. Well, they would need a physical template to bring in the soul. See?
So
Very
was the
difficult.
soul, would the Neanderthal have a soul?
I don't know. That's a great question. Possibly, but like I said, I think it's about a genetic coding information. So that if boy, if you were stuck in something like that, that might be pretty hard because it would be super primal. So
What we're
yeah,
saying then is that the
yeah.
soul is a recent occurrence in the evolution of Homo, meaning man.
Like I said, I think soul is a recording device. I really
Why
and
wouldn't the Cro-Magnus have a soul, a recording device of their?
it has to be necessary or the body doesn't know how to function. The soul codes systems. This is what they're showing me. The soul is like the codes the
Now,
system.
in the book that we're reading, one of them state that we are born of flesh,
Mhm,
blood, and a soul. We have no spirit.
mhm, mhm,
Only those who have apparently, and this is where this thing gets screwy for me,
mhm.
who have reincarnated. Now, I don't know if it's on this planet, I don't know if it's other planets, but
Right.
yeah, only those
Mm,
who reach a certain ascension level get a spirit.
wow. That I could see how that could make sense because I wonder if you go so low down into the dense
So this
matter,
is hell
cut
because
off. Yeah, you get cut off
you
from the
have
spirit.
people
Yeah, you got to
grabbing
earn
you
it
back
back.
down. You've gotten a spirit now. The souls of humanity are pulling you back into hell
Yep.
because they want your spirit.
That would make sense, Wayne. Wow. Wow.
How many of y'all in the chat room minds are blown now?
I'm telling you, because I have thought about that too. I was like, I wonder if that's why we can't get out because the soul is what's keeping you bound and it's not connected back to spirit. Because the spirit, the spiritual dimensions, those are high.
And
And
it would say by your words, I love them, is the fact that that's a higher intelligence.
yes, totally.
So, and
Totally
I'm
higher.
down here going,
Yeah.
yeah, because, we've had 2,000 years of the Jesus loves me, this I know, because the Bible told me so. Actually, to be very honest, that new version is less than 500 years old. But let's get back to it. That this whole crusade for the world was because this was going to bring peace on earth.
Mhm.
And all we've had is now more division than
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
You can't have a family gathering on Thanksgiving because of A, they have different religious views, B, you have a different political view, or C, you don't like any of them and they don't like you.
Absolutely.
Sorry, the last part was this commentary of
You know, it's so
jovial.
funny. I think that's why we're given so many superficial things to focus on, so nobody has to talk about what's really deep. So everybody can stay, don't get close to any of those subjects because there's gonna be
It's like,
fruit
oh no.
flying and yeah. So
Well,
like I
the
said,
thing about it is that because of my YouTube channel, it becomes very well known. I had someone say, well, we heard you had this was some past Christian friends.
mhm,
And the person said, what the hell happened to you?
right. I
Literally
woke
what
up,
they said, what the hell happened to you? I said,
right.
well, I woke up in the fact that I was in hell
Yeah.
and I am excavating myself out of it.
Yep.
I don't want to hate anyone. I don't want to be philosophically
No.
opposed.
No.
I
You,
don't want that.
and that is so liberating,
It is.
freeing when you get to a place where you're like, man, live and let live, because we're all doing different things and it's all okay. When you get to that place, it's very freeing because you don't have to defend your view against nobody else because it don't matter.
These people we talked to were
Don't matter.
saying, so what's your view? And I said, you know what? And I said, Bosto, because I
Hmm.
had the shirt on, Bosto. I
Yeah.
said, this is my view.
Right.
Be of service to others.
It's what brings you the greatest joy.
And I took all the wind out of their sail. Both
Yeah.
sides.
Well, yeah, because what can you
Oh,
say against that? There's not a
so
lot.
you're one of those people who believe in peace and love, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Sign me
peace,
up.
man. It's like, yeah.
Yeah,
Mary Wynn
sign
is
me
in the
up.
room. Good to see you, Mary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, but it's so true. I mean, it's like
Mm.
now if you believe in peace and love, oh, so
Well,
you're
and I think it's only because, the peace and love movements were always squashed.
well, listen, they did a great job in the early 70s to infiltrate it and to screw the message up.
That's what I
Um,
mean. They've just
they
destroyed
did.
it.
They
They've destroyed it.
destroyed it. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And I was recently talking to a very young person because they're very young, starting out in life,
Yeah.
and it dawned on me that
Mm.
I am their future because for them to be in your 60s is to be old.
Oh gosh, yeah.
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 But
Hmm.
what they don't realize that in a blink of an eye, if they make it,
Yeah, they'll be
they'll be
60.
there. Yeah, they'll
You
be.
got it. So fast it goes, doesn't it?
It's amazing. It
Yeah.
really is.
Mhm.
Um, I guess, how I look at it is that if we can reignite a message of hope, this group has the whole ability to do it. I know there's those who go on Facebook and are plastering Bosto, but the message is not being seen. There's so many people who are so obsessed with the political, the social, the cancel culture, all of these other things that divide us and the thing about it is they never promise unification. They just promise division.
That's all they have. It's all they have. And once you can see through it, then it doesn't have you anymore.
Mm,
Mhm.
it doesn't, not at all.
No,
Um,
no. But this is literally, it's the biggest problem. It's like, this is desperate times right now. And guys, I hate to say it, but every single part of me, I knew we were jumping this week. I knew it. This full moon transit, I knew we were going to jump a timeline. And I think that we might have landed into one of the most very highest positive potential timelines this week.
So this is something, I'm glad you brought this up. Marsha Price sent me a really good thing. And, so we had the Mayan calendar wrong. Apparently it's this December
Yeah.
21st, 2020. And
Yes.
2020 has just been a crazy year.
Yeah.
I mean, expect the unexpected. That's the way it seems to have been, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, expect the unexpected. And so I'm thinking this as I'm conducting these very simple experiments. They're my experiments. I'm just, you know, that's how I work. I mean, when I get into the spirit realm, the ethereal realm, I
Mm-hmm.
have a sense that we're going to be doing a lot of experimenting. I mean, folks, when we came into these bodies, we weren't exactly running a marathon. We couldn't even crawl. We couldn't keep our head up.
Yep.
But I know people get so if you see, I can't believe that we are at the end of days. There will never be an end of days,
You
Trina.
know, Wayne, I really do think that they were trying to run a Depop thing.
Yeah.
And they can't.
We seem to be the
What you
rich.
what you what you see the plan, it has no power over you. Too many people have seen it.
So let's carry that out. So we live in a world, it's cause and effect. For
Yeah.
every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. That also holds true in the spiritual dimensional realm where this realm is concerned.
Yes.
So there's this war. Apparently, we started it, is one belief.
Hmm.
We were we wanted freedom.
Yeah.
It said yesterday, when man, and oh, Trina, that's why I love our show. It says that when man acquired what? Imagination,
Hmm.
creativity.
Yep.
In anthropology, we know something happened 70,000 years ago to
Hmm.
our species.
Hmm.
Apparently, they say 70,000 years ago, something happened. Another star came through our solar system, or we were torn from ours,
Yes.
however you want to do it. But we learned to speak.
Yes. And I'm telling you, I think that is the true story of the whole Jesus myth. That's the real story right there, Wayne. It brought forth the word.
We spoke.
Yep.
Yep. And it is said that imagination and creativity was birthed forth.
Yes, and that's what happens when you get the power to abracadabra.
Yeah, I speak, therefore it is.
Yes. And hence
Amen.
why they want to cover our face. They're like, uh-oh, they're getting too powerful. We need to.
Amen means so be it, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Mhm.
you see this whole thing with imagination. Now it occurred to me, what if that was where the soul was born, or the
I think
spirit?
I think it is because I think the spirit is actually like the remember when Adam couldn't wake up? Without the
Yes.
spirit, I don't think you can wake up. So you got to have both, or I don't think the system can work properly. But we're like super cut off from the spirit. That's why we only get a spark instead of the full column of power. You get spark.
So interesting, because I was going through my library, right?
Hmm.
And came across, back in the days, with cassette tapes. I mean, this was my life. This is when I was a road warrior out on the sales. This was everything. So I wanted to let you know what I was listening to in 1983. The Law of Righteousness, the Bible, Secret of Words and Power,
Wow.
Overcoming the Troublemaker, which is doubt, the mind,
Yes. That's the Satan.
developing a victorious consciousness,
Hmm.
triumph of righteousness, and of course, the other part was seek ye first the kingdom of God. Now, this is what I was listening to in 83. And as I went back, I mean, developing a victorious conscience, I went back, it's quite amazing how some of us have been pre-programmed for, I think, this very day.
Yes.
We hold the seeds of messages that have come through many different channels, many different directions. I'm reading the book Yahweh that Brother Al sent.
Isn't it interesting?
It's I will put it this way, it is definitely, it's in the
Artificial.
advanced level, I'll put it
Yeah,
that
and
way.
I think it's artificial intelligence.
I think it's definitely, yeah, it's very advanced, I think, for,
It is, and I think
yeah.
that's why I think I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And I'm really looking at this might be a very big part of what is human. I mean, because might, I don't know, but there's something to this.
So here's
It's hard
another
to
question for the paranoid. Everyone's going, not us. But I think that we have been identified. I think we've been targeted. They know about cells like us.
yeah.
And that's a problem.
Hmm.
Because if the rogue cell ever gets out, it becomes a cancer.
Yep.
We become the cancer
But
of their
I
reality.
also see too, it becomes the antivirus. It literally becomes the
That's
cure.
another way of putting it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I see it as the cure because we brought in powerful light. Light and oxygen and air destroy cancer. So we came to light it up and bring forth the spirit, air, fire, spiritual fire through love. When we start to truly take care of each other and love one another and stop looking for leaders and understanding that we're all parts of God, experiencing and creating as a whole body, and we start to love that body, boy, wow.
And you bring up a very good point because we have no message of the future for love. And that is the number one thing I deal with so many people who write me is getting them to learn to love themselves, truly love themselves.
What's terrible, the main message that we've been giving our entire lives, and this is generations deep, is war and apocalypse, end of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone else is, you're going to become,
Consistent,
yeah.
consistent, consistent, consistent. So
Boy.
with that realm of layered deep within the conscious strata of the entire existence of humanity in this fear and this death and this war and this sickness and this just yucky stuff. I mean, they knew that's how they could keep us from coming into full power because you just keep them working, keep them sick, and keep them distracted, and you can harness all their energy.
You can. I want to pull up something because you just brought this. Um, get this. The evolution of the idea of a soul is one of the most interesting and curious chapters in human history of thought.
Mhm.
Human thought, having an enormous influence not only upon our religious, but also upon our philosophical and scientific conceptions. As this development is especially pertinent in some matters under the current discussion, he was right here in the room, then wrote this paper. But what my point is this, is that
Wow.
there is the Australian, I think it's the blacks and the Zanda,
Mhm.
alike believe that nobody dies a natural death and see to it that this is usually the case, being energetic cannibals. The life is purely physical. By eating the body, one absorbs the life. But corpses are reality. The life is separated from the body, hence, this separable life is an entity by itself. It is a soul. Of course, plants and animals, as well as men, have souls of this sort. This, in general, is the fundamental animalistic notion.
That makes sense again because think about it. We record information in our genetics in our cells. Again, soul cell recorder device.
Okay, so let's take that one step further, Trina. Let's go into, and I know this is going to sound bizarre, but every time you eat a salad, every time you eat an animal's flesh,
Yeah.
we are consuming that life force in a cellular level.
Yes, and that's probably why there's so much about not consuming meat. I mean, because if this is true, that would be an important thing that we should probably look at and try to understand, because this could be very true.
Well, they say
I
that
think it is.
plants feel
I think it
pain
is.
when they're cut.
They do, and they communicate. They can identify a
They do
murderer.
communicate.
Yeah, if you kill
Yeah.
their friend, the other plants can tell you who the murderer is if you
So,
have
but
them all
we
walking.
eat them though. That's the thing. We eat
It's still
them.
soul. Yes,
Yeah.
it's soul. It's a different kind. And that's what I said. I think soul is on many, many levels
This is
because
such a bizarre place. I
yeah,
mean,
yes. You got to think too, because when the spirit comes into the matter, there's a veil. And that veil is the filter from spirit, but there's still enough spirit there to animate the operating soul. And the soul can take, I think, many, many forms. And I think it records every single thing it takes on.
well, when you draw this out, that we can't exist in this realm unless we consume the energy of other things. And we don't understand. We think it's all up here, but there's more and more evidence that shows that there is an unknown secret about the whole solar plexus, the whole area where the generation that's breaking down of the energy. I see very little teaching on that.
No, they don't. They don't at all. Because if you understood that you could literally eat light and transmute it, we wouldn't need food. If they didn't have us to have all of these needs, they wouldn't be able to control.
There are those Tibetan monks, and I even hear of yogis as well. They no longer eat.
They don't have
Um,
to at all.
they
Yeah,
don't
they don't.
have
But like I
to.
said, I wouldn't suggest a normal person who's never done this
Oh,
practice
no, no, no,
try
no,
these
no.
things, because
Yeah,
it can harm you because you're not used to it.
yeah.
They've been doing this for years
That's a
and years.
different energy.
They're living on liquid light, prana. And I literally see it as they form some kind of a mucus from the pineal gland, and they just swallow this mucus and it literally feeds them. It's like manna from heaven,
I
but it's
think
some
it's the
type of a
Tesla energy.
secretion. Yeah, it's some type of a secretion that they bring forth in the body. And it comes directly from their spirit. So I mean, if we had more connection to the spirit, it is it's where all the
I don't
divine
see us ever,
higher wisdom is.
I don't ever see us, I don't see mankind ever reaching that.
Wayne,
We're
you've already reached it.
well, but our
I'm sorry, just saying.
but our species is, I told Lynn, there's times when I really cry over this because I don't like it here. I
I
don't,
know.
I don't,
Yeah,
I have become so acutely sensitive
yeah,
of the density of this place.
yes.
I don't like the energies that I encounter because it's a constant battle. There's times when I just get pissed off. It's like enough already. And, I know that that is a challenge because even the spirits that irritate us, if you speak Bosto over them, they don't know how to handle that. What do you mean to be of service to me? And the thing in the spirit realm, to be of service to one is to acknowledge with respect to one. If I say, Trina, I want to be of service to you, I'm not looking at you financially. I'm not looking you in any way to derive any benefit. I just want to see you to be happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. How can I
And I
make
can
your
hear the
life
song,
better?
be happy. I can see a Purnell going,
Yeah, it's like, how can I make your life better? I just want
yeah,
to help. How can
yeah,
I be of service? How can I
yeah.
support your reality in any way, in the best way I can, you know?
That's how I see FP now. I used
Yeah.
to call him God, but I
Mhm.
know it's not him, but it's the only thing that the creator could be would is a field of energy.
That's what I'm telling you. And that to me would be the spirit. Yeah.
And you
This
and you
field.
know how when we heal
Invisible.
people,
Yeah.
you have to change their energy, right?
Absolutely. And you're literally magnetizing the correct information from the cosmos into that being. You're directing energy, because that's what we do. We're antennas. We direct energy. That's why I said when you were showing like the whole soul tribe with those dowsing rods, I just saw Star Wars. I was like, oh crap. Because the
Yeah.
energy could be so powerful. Yeah. I was like, we guys, we don't understand. We are so powerful. I heard that this morning it was coming to me. It was kind of different. Um, the Lion of Ion, because we are ions, protons, electrons, and neutrons. Ion, ion,
Yes.
lion. That's lion. The lion, we are that lion, the lion that's coming, because we're going to learn how to operate and manipulate and direct energy through the force and the power of love, because that magnetic force comes through the heart. So the magnetic part is the heart, the energetic part is the father. So this is father and mother working together to make stuff happen. So we are learning how to use this force that's within us, this ion power. So I put the power of ion, electrical, neutron, proton. The lion shall lie with the lamb. I see the lamb as being the autonomic nervous system, the messenger of God, the spinal column, and it's the information, how everything gets through the limbic system. So the lion, and it's also the heart. So the love and light of the ion make the lion. The Wizard of Oz no more. When you connect to these two powers, you cannot be deceived anymore, because you see through the veil, because you're now connected to your spirit. You get these glimpses and you start to change who you are and how you think and perceive, and you break free. So Dorothy, didn't you know the power was always within you? It's telling us right in the Wizard of Oz. We understand this. And how did Dorothy win? It was because she could overcome fear, false evidence appearing real. When we know what we are, we become unstoppable. Wisdom is that force, and love is its carrier. Stronger than fear. Be fearless. Become the lion, the love of the power of the ion. Imagine the power of love as the holy driver. The lion and the ions are here. Through all of the struggle, it's now time that the lion will wake up from its slumber and reappear. So fear cannot stand in the flame of the love fire, the triple flame fire within our heart. Fear cannot stand there. It just has no power. So when we can become what we already are and integrate the full potent power of our spiritual origin with the created part of the soul, because we all have our own creation of soul. That's why we're all very different. But when we can embrace that, instead of dividing it, attacking it, if we can start to appreciate it and know that they're all going to be so different, and that is the fullness of wisdom and creation, because within each one of us, we all have different keys of creation through our soul's recording device, because it's recorded everything that we've done or been. So I'm seeing that this is what we're doing. We're changing the Wicked Witch of the West. Ding dong, the witch is dead. The evil witch is dead. Wicked Witch of the West. WWW.
The first crush in my life I had as a child
Glenda.
was Glenda. I mean,
And
she
that's what I see,
was,
Ray. We're flipping from the WWW to the Glenda, which is the good witch, the good witch. So she's the GGG. She's the Glenda of good, and she holds the gold. She's the gold. She's the true sun. So we're getting away from dark sun, WWW, which is all mind control. We don't remember what we are. And through this awakening that we're having, just like you being able to astral travel, getting out of the body, knowing how to heal, that is the powers of Jesus. That's what he said. You came here to be like Jesus. Wayne, you do it every day. It's what we're supposed to do. And we're all going to be doing different parts. And through that was shown to me. That's the true second coming.
and when you talk about these life reviews, it's very prominent in Dr. Lomel's book. We all have them, and apparently the vast majority of people who went through them, they find it to be it's not something to be dreaded. I mean, one of the things that is so, it's interesting when we go through the tunnel. You know what the tunnel is? I think I'm beginning to figure out the tunnel is a transmutation device. It's
Absolutely.
it's
Yes.
changing our energy from this dense that we're here. We have to go. That's why some people get stuck in the tunnel,
Yes.
and that becomes hell.
Yes, because they can't let go.
They
They
can't,
can't let
and
go.
something is there.
Yep. Yep.
Even children realized what the tunnel was. There's a whole section in here of children who've had near-death experiences, and
Yep.
it's quite fascinating. Even they had a life review.
Yeah.
And
They got to
apparently,
choose. Many of them get to choose whether or not to return.
well, the ones that come back, it's interesting. And I wanted to mention this, that
Mhm.
empaths who have NDEs come back and they're even more empathic,
Yes.
and it
So,
drives some of them batty.
yeah, it's hard
Um,
to feel everything because you don't start to understand what's yours and what's not.
they
And
say
I
here the densities of thought are so overwhelming that apparently when we go through this transmutation thing called the tunnel and we enter out, um, there's an immediately a light. So many people said it's not a white light, it's not a blue light, it's an indescribable light.
yes.
And it pulls us. And apparently, once you get to the light, the people who've had the near-death experiences said they don't know what happens once
Mhm.
you go through that. But all souls, one woman said that as she was going through the tunnel, she could look over to her right and she saw alien beings, other non-humans,
Yep.
all in with their same energy signature as we have, going through this tunnel to this light.
Yep. I think that that's the alien harvest light. That's
See, that's
what I
what
think.
bothers me is like, I, you know, I,
I told you,
did,
Wayne, destination self.
did you see that movie Skyline?
No.
Go watch it, Trina.
Okay,
And
because I'm going self. I don't care what I'm going to trust myself, know thyself. The Lord Jesus always is pointing right in here. It's inside within you. I'm like, okay, you know what? That thing has the best advice I can go with at this point in time. I'm going to
not that
find
I
self.
am into the Christianity thing, but
Me either. I'm going to find self. It ain't got nothing to do with Christianity for me. I'm like, that is good advice. Find self.
here's my problem with the light is that in the second chapter of Acts,
Mhm.
the Christ is being lifted up into the clouds. There ain't no freaking light. There ain't nothing that
Think
they
about it.
said was a light coming from heaven. So what the hell is this thing that we're
The
facing?
cloud of the AI, the artificial
He
intelligence.
went
I'm
right up
telling
into the
you.
clouds until he could
They're
no
going
longer be
straight up
seen.
into the machine. You're going into the board. I'm
You know,
telling you. I think that's what it is, Wayne. I don't want to go to the light thing. I want to go find self thing. And
Z
I can figure
says, I didn't
out there.
see the tunnel, just nothingness, black, empty space. Some people say that. But
Yeah.
then that's what we're already in, Z. You just don't, you think that we're in a physical reality. We're still occupying that dark space.
Yeah, because we're in a program, a hologram.
Yeah. I mean, I think Bosto is the key to get out. I told you that one out of body experience, and it's been what, almost a year and a half ago, where I was right there. There was a gate, a freaking gate.
Yeah.
And I remember this, it's on video, folks. Go listen to it. But Trent, I was telling you that
Mhm.
I got through the gate. And the thing is, this being told me, here's the fear. When we leave this dimension,
Mhm.
and I mean the ethereal, the whole concept, heaven, hell, the whole thing, there was a small group of people that were with me.
Yeah.
And when we got to the edge of this realm, there was literally a gate.
Mhm.
And these creatures, I mean, they were huge.
Mhm.
Um, Opened the gate, and I can remember looking over, and it was male presence, felt male. Um, couldn't do it because when you go through the gate, you never come back. You never
Mhm.
come back here. You don't come back to this whole dimension.
Mhm.
there's literally a gate. You can't, they won't let you back through.
I wonder if that was in the same kind of similar as my dream about now you are free from the watery grave of which you have slept. You are free from the bondage of the serpent. Maybe if you get out, you can't go back because maybe you wouldn't want to.
It's so odd because Trina, in my
And then,
experience,
I think too, when we keep saying, when we go out further and go out further, then we get to the gate and they're like, you can't go back in. We're supposed to go in, not out.
well, the gate,
Something to this. I don't know.
well, I'll go back. I actually have it written up because it was so profound.
It is
There
profound.
were many, there were many spirits that we were all heading. We saw the light.
Uh-huh.
We said no,
No. Mm-hmm.
and we're nothing but bright specks. But when we said no, there's this other tunnel. I don't, and the tunnel is the wrong word. It's a void.
Uh-huh.
But we were
That's, I think,
going,
what gets most people scared is they're scared to go through the void.
yep, we were
They're scared to
going,
go through the void. And I don't think the void is anything to be afraid of. I think it's big. And I think
it
it
is
is
big.
only the space between the next cell.
And the interesting thing I can remember was that there were the group that was with us, we kept kept on losing lights. They faded in the back. And
Because they probably got scared.
and I can remember, I like I said, it's like it's still happening. I'm reliving. It's a freaking deja vu moment. But when we came to this platform, it's the only thing I can say. We were
Mhm.
traveling in dark. It was black. To me, it didn't matter. To me, it was like riding a roller coaster with my eyes closed.
Right.
That's what it felt like. And the feeling was here. Wasn't here, it was here. It was,
In the heart.
yeah, it was
Yes.
here. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is where the
Mm.
whole experience was emanating. And as we came up to this platform, um, I did not see it before until we literally got to this platform.
Mhm.
That's when there's this, it's a barrier. It's the only thing I know. And when we looked, all of a sudden the barrier came down to a gate, and the gate was shaped with an arch, and it had this strange symbol that, anyway,
Oh, wow.
so
So there is another gate.
I think there is.
See, Wayne, and this is what I keep seeing, that we're inside of a body. And I really literally think that we are in the solar plexus of the body. And if, like I say, they say heaven and hell. Some people are going to go down through the bowels and out the butt, and some people are going to go up and out through the crown. That's
Yeah.
what I see. And
Solar
these
system,
gates,
solar plexus. Think about that.
yeah, and I think these gates are the planetary chakra systems attached to the planets within this solar system. And those basically, Jupiter, Zeus,
Hmm.
these are like gods. You got to get through the gates.
Yeah.
You
And who
got to
knows?
just
It may have
not
been the
be,
gate here of Earth. I don't know.
trust yourself, right?
Yeah.
Don't get
Yeah.
scared. Don't go through the chute, and don't
Yeah.
get that tunnel. I'm pretty sure is the chute.
David Barry says, like the sperm on its way to the egg.
Yes,
Yeah. And we know only one lucky bastard makes it.
right.
Ah, David, that was well needed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, now that's just funny.
Yes.
These out of body experiences, these astral travels that, um, and sometimes some people call them lucid dreams.
Mhm.
Um, they reflect, I think, a lot of what is in us individually.
Mhm.
I mean, there's just a lot of people that I know that won't venture in. They want to play it safe.
Like I said, I think that is so much of the programs that we receive from the time we're born is about needing the savior, needing somebody to
Yeah.
help us. And it is fully instilled from the day that you're born. You can't even feed yourself.
No. I mean, we can't.
You can't speak. You can't walk. You can't do anything. You can't, nothing. You're an infant.
And
So,
so what if it's, I've said this before, let's hope it's not that way when we get on the other side, it's like, it's like you get out of this thing, you got this, this slime all over you, and you finally get it off and you go, oh, so I'm dead now. What happens,
Wayne, I really do. I think there's so many potentials to what can happen. I think it's because what is your next what's your next desire? What's your next joy? What's your next journey that you want to go on? What is it that you want to experience next? I really do think when I leave this body, I'm going to go straight to myself. I know that I am a bigger part of me is existing, and I'm going to go find that. And when I find that, I'm going to sit down and look at that. And then I'm going to find a way to where I can see what other options are available. Because I think that before you do anything, you should actually try to know what you're doing.
go to the
So,
beach.
yeah,
I'm
kick
saying that's
back,
why I'm going to the beach. You
right?
gotta have a moment. I'll share one story with the group, Trina.
Hmm.
So in my first foster home, um, there was a church that had a kind of like a coffee house, and Barry Maguire came through. And at the tender age of, I think I was just about to turn 13, um, actually got to talk to Barry. Barry wrote the song On the Eve of Destruction. You know a song I'm talking about? It was
No, I don't know.
banned on AM radio.
I was going to say, I don't know that I've heard that, Wayne.
Write it down and go
Wow.
listen to it. The Eve of
The
Destruction
Eve of Destruction.
by Barry Maguire. And anyway, Barry was saying to the group of kids that, the young people that were there, and I'll never forget this. He said, when I die, he says, I'm going to be the space cowboy.
Right
And
on.
he said, I have been told that I'm going to be able to see every planet, everything I want to go see.
You will.
He died, and a couple of years after that, Barry Maguire was. When you listen to the song, you'll see
Mhm.
how well it fits into today.
Unbelievable. Some
Yeah,
of these songs are doing that, and it's blowing
yeah,
my mind.
yeah. Deborah Sloan
Absolutely
says,
blowing
great
my mind.
song. Everyone says, let's go to the beach. Yeah, we're all going to be to the beach. Brian's already there getting the sand all cleared out.
Absolutely. And it's so funny too. I always see that I go straight to a healing temple.
Yeah, I think it's
Yep.
probably where we all go to be
That's
honest
my
with you.
first destination.
Yeah.
I have my own that I built. So yeah. So I think that's my first place is because, yeah.
Beloved Abstract, I got to say, you were on it today. First of all, love the story about the breatharian, the guy that breathes, teaches people to breathe, and
Yeah.
said he had a pretty good following until he was found out to be getting a Big Mac and order of fries. But he says
That's
it didn't
funny.
count because it's not real food.
Right? Oh, that's even truer. I have a Big
Oh,
Mac from 2000, I think 2004 up in my cabinet and it's still intact.
see. And the last time, and it's true, doctors will tell certain patients to go to the beach. It's healthy. Yeah,
Yes.
it is healthy.
And think about it too. What do they say that the ocean, what's near the ocean? Negative ion.
Yes, yes.
Negative ion.
Wow, Trina, hour has freaking flown by. Yeah,
Yes, it
yeah.
always does, Wayne.
You know,
Like I
I
said, we
just,
are so much more than we know, and it is time to start to explore that and
yeah,
connect with it. And when we start to connect to, I think, our inner core strength, I think it'll pull a lot of the power from the external environment away from it because it'll be going in instead of out. And I think it might be that simple.
yeah,
That
yeah.
should be how we win, and that should be how we, create a better world. It literally is all this inner work that we're doing. It's going to change the outer world.
I think they're expecting, and just opinion. I know we got to go, but it's to me, the ethereal realm has to be feeling it as well as spirits, and
Yeah.
that's what I choose to think I am as a spirit, come through. We have this knowledge, we have this enlightenment that is visible. They know it.
Yes.
And you can't put us with, let's say, someone who's believing in a savior or whatever, who never even spent any time in their life ever developing their spirit at all.
Nope.
We will be separated.
Absolutely.
We have to be. I mean, the laws of physics, I think, alone say
Absolutely.
that.
The laws of cause and effect.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's the one
Yeah.
that does the magnetic pulling. It's cause and effect,
Yeah.
straight up. That's
Yeah.
the whole balancing, the weighing of the scales and the feather and all of it. It's about cause and effect.
Yeah.
Where do you vibrate? What is your recorder cell? It's accumulated coding. Where does that match? And it's going to go where it matches.
It's the exercises that, you learn to create your sphere. And as I
Yes.
close my eyes, and that doesn't take me long anymore to literally have it, there it is. And
You can feel it.
it's no longer, it's this most beautiful aqua blue now. It's just, it
That is
changes colors.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say, I just saw green.
Yeah. You see, once you
Yeah.
learn how to form it, I mean, and I think it reflects like what we used to have back in the 70s, the mood rings.
Yes.
You remember those? Yeah.
Yes, I loved them. Oh, mine was always that bright blue.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. I mean,
Yeah.
and the thing about it is that it worked.
Yes, it
Oh,
did.
mercy.
Yeah, you can look at people and see the color of their ring and go, row, row.
Exactly. You're going,
Row, row.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Trina, I love you, man. You're
I
just
love you back.
wonderful. Everybody, thank you. Go over to the Milky Way Soul Tribe. I think, are y'all going to have David Barry on this weekend?
Oh, we've been trying. Do you see how strong that energy is trying to stop that?
Like,
David must have something powerful to share. That's all I can
yes,
say about that.
the force be strong in this one.
Absolutely. But we're gonna make it happen one way or another. We will
All
not
right.
stop. We will prevail.
That'll be Saturday night, right?
Yes, yes. Oh, and I'm going to
Hopefully.
be on night flight in about an hour. So
Oh, so you going on, excuse me.
I know
Well,
the name blank. Judith.
Judith, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes,
Excellent.
yes,
Excellent.
yes, night
Uh,
flight. Yes. I was
yeah,
like, I wanted to make sure I remembered her channel so I could tell everybody.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Wonderful.
over at Night Flight, go to YouTube.
Yeah.
She's gonna be live on YouTube, right?
Yep.
Excellent. Excellent. Anything else going on there?
That's it. Like I said, was doing some healing work this week and working and so really busy and trying to do a little bit of videos, but not much. But like I said, when sometimes when you're called to pull out the energy and start
Yeah.
doing the real work, yeah, that takes a priority. So yeah, I've been busy doing that for the past few days.
And I know we're a little bit over here, but that's why I'm doing these very simple experiments. I mean, and some people will say, well, that's just, you know, nonsense, but
Remember,
it's,
Wayne, the
yeah,
greatest power, keep it simple.
keep it simple.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, if we could all begin to get like our own circle outside and then do a group thought intent, and there's all sorts of little experiments that we can do here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it works, Wayne.
Yeah,
You
it
saw the
does work.
reading. I
I
mean,
think it
we
does.
are so powerful, guys. It's
Now,
unbelievable.
if we start doing that, could you imagine that, hey, Robert V, how about this one? Could you imagine could you see Robert doing that out in the middle of his field? And
Absolutely.
all of a sudden, as we're all doing this, that the big freaking UFO comes up there and sucks us up.
I don't
Going,
want to go. I'm
I
not
don't want to
signing
go
up for
either. I
that.
would say,
No, I say
oh,
I do not consent.
yeah. Then again, they probably go, oh, crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Throw me out because I'm too feisty. No thanks. I'm good.
Well, let's put us back on the freaking ground. That's what I say,
Send me right back to my mother. I want to go back to Gaia, please. Thank you very much.
This is just too funny
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
The only ship I'm going is the one that I know how to drive.
hey, if it's not a bus, then man, I ain't getting on, Someone wrote me and said,
I'm not going.
someone said, is there a smoking section on your bus? I said, yeah, on the top.
Of course,
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Just
Absolutely.
oh, Trina. Okay. All right. This was fun.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
All right. Trina, much love to you. Stay with me. Thank you, everybody. We will see you later tomorrow. Trina, make sure to go over, and I see you're getting subscribers there. I see you're
Yeah,
growing.
it's and for me, I don't even care, Wayne. I didn't even
I
want to
gave
do
up
this.
on that over a year ago.
Yeah, and my
I don't
spirit
care.
just told me you have to. So I was like, oh, I've never done any of the monetizing. I just don't. But my spirit tells me kind of do this. So I'm
Yep.
like, okay, fine. So, I'm just kind of doing what I'm told by my higher self, and hopefully
listen,
it
yeah.
touches people the way it should. And yeah, I don't expect anything. It's just good. It's just God. And it's
I just
just
tell people
trust
I'd
work.
rather have quality over quantity.
I never wanted that whole, like I said, Brian, I was like, nope, nope, nope.
Yep.
I
Yep.
still have never done my own interviews. I'm like, nope, nope, nope. But I'm doing what I'm called to do.
That's
So
what we're
for
doing.
me, that's just fine. Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone. Thank you for this wonderful tribe. It continues to impress.
Yeah,
All.
Wayne, you're supposed to be a powerful presence, and you are. And that's
I'm
part of
just a humble
your,
guy, man. I mean, seriously.
but
you know,
you have walked the walk, and that's why you're a powerful part of this. And you're supposed to be in the forefront.
I'll tell you next time we get on here, the three large murals I saw, how this relates to that. All
Really.
right, folks, thank you so much. We got such a beautiful
Love
group
you guys.
here. We love y'all, and
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next Tuesday. You
See
like
ya.
that? Y'all like the y'all? Yeah. See you.
Yo, Brian, he's coming through.
See y'all. Bye.
He's